And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in a 6:30 edition of TigerBait Live, and we were 6 minutes late. We had Jay Johnson because of may she rest in peace, Sandy Bertman's funeral this afternoon. Usually we would get Jay at noon on a Wednesday. We got him at 5 o'clock today. So rushing back, got it already uploaded, as you can see on our YouTube channel. Got player interviews, Dickinson as well, and Jay Johnson, that's already up on our YouTube channel. Check that out after the show. But we got a big show tonight. Lots to talk about. Obviously, we've been out at every LSU football practice, and there's a lot of newcomers out there that are impressing, and we'll go through and talk about all those guys. LSU women's basketball, of course, 9:15 Saturday night. We'll start the NCAA tournament play. The LSU baseball team heads to Austin for a pivotal series. And Will Wade is the new coach at NC State. And Buddy's got some intel on what to expect with Matt McMahon's roster. So did I miss anything?
Yeah, Tristan Keys just committed to LSU.
Tristan Keys, five-star wide receiver.
Big
from Hattiesburg
this afternoon.
What's funny is my second cousin messaged me and says, well, I hope you have the you might as well go ahead and pre-write his decommitment story. You know, and then there's media at Jay saying, well, what does this mean now? Like everybody's just kind of like poo-pooing it, like it's not anything big. Look, I get it. We're in the NIL era. You can have the rug pulled out from under you. But I still think that probably more often than not, you're going to keep more than half of your early commitments.
He's 26, right?
Yeah, or 2/3 of them.
He's 26?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, it's one of the things that you have to deal with. Hope everybody doing well. We have a smorgasbord. This is like a fat guy getting ready. I don't guess you have all-you-can-eat pizza anymore in the old days when these football players.
Mr. Gaddy's.
Yeah. But we've got an incredible plethora of stuff to bite into. We're starting to get a feel for LSU football, and I got to tell you, I'm starting to believe that they've got some more depth. They've got some players, and I'll talk about the chemistry in the locker room and the interviews. Man, if you didn't get fired up about Jack Piber and some of the other guys, then you didn't listen closely. Softball at Georgia this weekend, 5 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. LSU baseball at Texas, SEC Network Friday night at 7. And then, of course, 6 o'clock on Saturday night, SEC Network Plus, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. I do know some LSU fans are going over there. And for all the bragging that Texas does about everything bigger and better in Texas, they got a dumpy old stadium. And, I look dumpy on this show. I might even look better than that Texas baseball stadium with the bad AstroTurf. And then gymnastics Saturday night also on the table. They're in the second rotation. Oklahoma 1, LSU 2, Florida 3, and Missouri 4. That takes place in Birmingham, 7 o'clock. And then, of course, as you alluded to, look, Dale Brown called them many years ago. And I have the acronym and have said it many times, no clue at all. But Dale Brown called him, and I'm going to call him. So, kids, if you're watching, put your ears. The NCAA, what Dale Brown call him? You remember? Gestapo bastards. And that's whoever gave this, whether it's Kim Mulkey or Will Wade, they are not going to get the benefit of the doubt. But, I think Coach Mulkey feeds on that. And she did buy the student tickets so that there will be a great crowd. So we'll get into all of that. And of course, feed off of what you guys and women are saying on a Wednesday night.
Absolutely. Y'all do me a favor. If you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. Please share the show out to your social media feed, your Facebook feed. Text it out to your fellow LSU buddies and let them know we're live. We're going to go to 7:30, excuse me. And because we got a lot to talk about, a full hour jam-packed tonight. And all right, let's go ahead and roll. Let's see. Roger Ramjet, hello, Mike and Buddy. Good to be with you. Always enjoy the show. Go Tigers. Thank you, Brad David. Good evening, Mike and Buddy. I enjoy your videos from spring practice. Thanks for the content. Thank you for that. We get a lot of good feedback on those, and Buddy and I typically do them. We had John Eads join us yesterday. That was a good one, and we'll periodically bring a third person in, an extra set of eyeballs to get a different perspective, and we enjoyed that one yesterday with John Eads over at WAB. We'll get Jock and Preston and others as well. So, Wilk, I better see Pyburn wear a neck roll week 1 against Clemson. Yeah, he's kind of a throwback guy. Now, I noticed some of the Florida fans have been coming over to our YouTube channel and calling him One Sack Jack because he had 1 sack for the Gators.
That's right. He did last year. But guess what, Gator fans? He's getting coached up by the best edge rush coach in the country, and his name is Kevin Peoples. And if you didn't see what he did with Savion Jones and Braden Swinson, oh, by the way, Pyburn just starts the depth at the end. Don't sleep on 18, Gabriel Relaford. Freak athlete. He's going to be better this year. Patrick Payton, I'm already calling him to be the sack guy. You'll see him on every 3rd down probably this year if he stays healthy. Jamari Butler from Nebraska. Damian Shanklin's a recruit coming in here, about 260. Kalaj Cobbins is a kid that's 235, good football player. Dylan Carpenter is also a guy that played a little bit. And I might be forgetting one more, but there's about 7 or 8 guys at that spot. And then, of course, we'll get into D tackles. I know I saw some of my comments. We'll get into the D tackles, but, man, right now, the way I see this, and we don't know what
I wish that group came more towards us. And Coach Kyle Williams seems to always have them wrapped around a pole, and I'll zoom in on them as best I can if you've seen our footage, which, man, look, we've been loading y'all up with a lot of footage. I don't know if y'all have watched our practice video. I think we're getting close to 30,000 likes on our video package from Saturday. But I've been shooting that at 4K 60, and what I did notice is like 70% of the viewers are watching that on their TVs. They're not watching it on their mobile device. It's amazing what YouTube can.
Well, I'm just going to say, though, right now, you probably agree. Ahmad Bro and Dominic McKinley are the favorites to start at D tackle. We don't know what Jacoby and Tank Gilroy is going to look like. Hoping he's solid there. Sean Washington.
Well, look, I think, did he kind of touch on that? Jacobian, like, that was the worry because him having a knee injury and what's going to happen to a guy like him? You can't do a whole lot. So what are you doing? You're eating.
Yeah. Well, the same thing with Garrett Dellinger. When they were telling everybody Garrett Dellinger was coming back from that surgery, there's no way. But what I'm saying is you got a lot of new guys, and I've been harping on this for the first 3 years of BK. Got to get more size, got to get more kick-ass, got to get more guys that throw people around like an empty Coke can. And I can't wait to see Jack Pyburn week 3 when they're playing Florida, and that crowd is going to feed off of him. But look, they're saying the right things. We know it's a lot of talk. The question is this year, as always, Mike, can you back up the talk? Can you open up stronger and beat Clemson? Then can you start and get on the roll? If you take care of Clemson, beat Florida, you're 4-0 going into Ole Miss, and then you got an open date. So schedule looks tough on paper, but we try to give you tidbits, and obviously – it will change a couple of more times between now and kickoff.
All right, 53449. Mike, your thoughts on Ethan Fry's performance? Yeah, I mean, a couple of home runs. I mean, what more can you ask? Totally throttled UNO, and we had Jay Johnson. I think he really likes how rested his whole pitching staff is going to be heading to Austin. They're upbeat. They had a good practice today. They talked about how some of the players have been using the football facility, hot, cold tanks. I don't know if they're getting in that cryo chamber or whatever that was. But that's smart. Particularly guys, Daniel Dickinson talked about how he goes over there because he says he's prone for his legs to get tight. And so, look, I think LSU can absolutely win 2 out of 3 this weekend in Austin.
I'm just going to tell you, folks, if you have blood pressure medicine, take it. Because, Mike, I'm a stickler for this kind of stuff. And I don't want to see the robots behind the plate But I'm going to tell you what, if I never see Jeff Head again, I'm a happy camper. Balls and strikes are so freaking inconsistent. I've talked to pitching coaches at LSU for 20 years about that. It's 2-2. You get a great pitch on the corner. The guy throws, he calls it a ball. He grooves the next one and hits it out of the park for a 2-run home run. And there the pitching coach has got to come over here and say, look, you got screwed by the umpire. Don't freak out. Balls and strikes, very consistent. You got to deal with it. But, man, I wish it was better. I really do. And you're going to see it again this weekend. Trust me, SEC umpiring, it leaves a lot to be desired. Just giving you a heads up. Don't get the screaming Reds. It's going to happen.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you go, 855-PRIDE-16. Give them a call. Say TigerBait. And when you get your free roof inspection, they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value. They pay it. And look, there's a lot of roofing companies out there. None of them better than Pride Roofing. And if you're in a bid situation, you got multiple bids on letterhead, Mike Faraday over at Pride Roofing will beat it by $150. And big brand new location here in Baton Rouge, of course, based in Hammond. After moving there from Albany, of course, big on the North Shore, home in New Orleans. Got you very well covered in Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana. And let them earn your business. Always keep a couple of $1 million worth of shingles in stock. You're not going to be waiting months. And none of it's builder grade. And a lot of homes in Louisiana, between tear down and a new roof, some of it can be done in a day. And so commercial or residential, Pride Roofing.
Always a free roofing inspection, 1-855-PRIDE-16. Look, they walk you through it. They'll get on the roof with your adjuster. We hear it every week. You hear us bragging about it. PFM, Don, Brad, many of the folks, a lot of people with Mike. All we ask is an opportunity. You're not going to see all these silly A commercials with roofing commercials laughing. This is serious business. We take our business serious. Trust me, you're going to refer them after you do business with them. They're that good. Give them an opportunity. Once again, 1-855-PRIDE-16. Mike and Alex are the best.
How about this? Dr. John Sibley Butler, go Tigers. Happy for Will Wade. I am too. I've kept in touch with Coach Wade and sent him a text here and there, and he always replies in a hurry. And I'm absolutely happy for him.
I think he told me one time you were his second favorite media guy next to Jordy Collada.
Oh, yeah? There you go.
Hey, look, I think the big thing with the LSU fans is they're just happy that he's not going to the SEC. I've talked to some NC State alumni. They are fired up. You know what he's going to do. He's got a relationship with Clemson, which they play this weekend. Didn't get an easy draw once again, but I think he's going to do a great job. And a lot of people think he will help build the ACC back. Right now, Mike, the SEC is a better basketball conference, 1 through 14, folks. 14,
and by the way, it's
14 SEC teams in the dance.
It's kind
unprecedented.
It's kind of right for him to do a good job there, because it's not like he's dealing with Coach K and Dean Smith and all that crap. You know, he's got a chance to really elevate that program.
Yeah.
And we saw it at LSU. He's going to go head to head with him in recruiting. He didn't back down from any of it. What did he say in his first press conference? We're going right at Kentucky.
Yeah.
So there you have it. And he adds, thank you for the super chat, Dr. Butler. He says, I don't see any weakness on this Tiger baseball team. So many can hold a rope. What on this team might give you a sleepless night?
Throwing balls and strikes.
Yeah.
You've got to throw the ball over the plate, and they're starting to hit the home run. You mentioned Ethan Fry. He comes in and is doing a great job as a right-handed DHer. Everybody knows you've got a ton of talent out in the outfield. Cater Rumbidi, the freshman catcher, has had trouble behind the plate, but got his second home run. Bear, as you know, when he hits it square, is gone. DC, Derek Curriell. Quit comparing him to Dylan Cruz. He's never going to hit the long ball like Dylan Cruz, but man, he is one incredible freshman. And of course, Monster Marlin. I just love watching that guy play shortstop for LSU.
Yep. Dr. Butler, thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you, Doc.
Always great supporter of us here at Tiger.
The legendary Dr. John Sibley Butler, and Hall of Fame in both LSU and Texas. That's how good that man is.
Absolutely. Ken Martin, how about the number one wide receiver commit to LSU? Do you think he'll stick with it? Man, everybody is so skeptical of it. I mean, I get it. Yeah, you're maybe a little punch drunk, but
well, give us a scoop on that, because
I'm not saying he is, but I think the fan base is just so skeptical.
But tell us a scoop about Tristan Creek.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a 5-star wide receiver from Hattiesburg, and everybody in the country wants him.
But Mississippi, as you know, and you've said this many times,
Hattiesburg, that high school is been cranking out players every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
But how many times have you had a kid from Mississippi that wants to come to Louisiana, and right at the last minute, whether it's legal or illegal, and it's all legal now, they get the bag drop and they want to stay in. So my question to you is, do you think that he sticks?
I think the way they see it is, this tells you when a kid commits this early, that means that to me, I view that as this is the place where he wants to be. All right. But I think if you're an assistant coach, you view it as, okay, we've got a head start on everybody else. And we just want to make sure at the end, we've got our bases covered, and we're not going to get blindsided. And look, it's one thing to get blindsided, but it's another thing where you're just like, what can we do? We're not going to do that extra $750,000, whatever it is.
Well, let me ask you this.
But one coach told me the bottom line is, come November, we want to be in the top 2 with every recruit.
It's simple. I get him on the phone and say, hey, you ever watch the Cincinnati Bengals? You know, that kid played at LSU. He's making $40.25 million a year. You ever heard of Justin Jefferson? He's making $35 a year. You ever heard of Malik Neighbors? You ever heard of Brian Thomas Jr.? I mean, the proof is in the pudding, folks. You come to play in the SEC. You got a great stadium. You got a great fan base, and you're making incredible money.
Here's the bottom line.
I don't know how you can't come to LSU if you're a wide receiver. That's just me speaking.
This isn't like the old days where kids at this time of the year hadn't made many visits. At this point, they've been on a lot of unofficial visits. They know where they're going to go. They know the distance. Hattiesburg's not a difficult drive at all.
No, not at all.
To Baton Rouge. It tells you that Coach Hankton, Sloan, the whole staff has done a fantastic job recruiting him. And what it means right now is that this kid is where he feels he wants to go. Now,
I'll say this. If the money's right, I think he sticks.
Right.
Okay.
I think you would rather be in this position than not be in this position.
No doubt about it.
Bottom line. That's the end of that.
How cool is that? You're going to have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase on a visit. I'm going to make the prediction. They'll bring those guys in and tell Kristen Keys, hey, you know what? I'm making $275 million. This guy's making $160 million. Jordan Jefferson making $100 for whatever it is. Let him hang with those big dogs, and I think he'll be very impressed.
Cody Quibido, evening, gentlemen. Any tidbits on how the new transfer punter has looked? I tried to swing my camera over in that direction yesterday, and I didn't see any action.
I saw a little bit, and I made the comment on the report, what little I saw. But I think everybody's got to be cognizant. We have been out there, and the wind has been blowing.
I haven't seen anything that right now that does anything.
But actually, what I watched, Badger Hargett was kicking better than Peyton Todd and Grant Chadwick, but I only saw about 3 or 4 punts. It's early. I think
we'll look forward on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll look forward on the Saturday, and once again, extended work on the special teams in the spring 12. I guess they call it the spring game, but that's going to be an open scrimmage and an autograph opportunity. I think we'll get a better feel, Mike, on April 12th with the punters, because we'll get a good look at it.
And we're going to have multiple more practices where we get the full thing. And we're certainly going to see more special teams as the spring goes along.
None of them are ready to punt in the game right now, but there's a long ways to go.
All right, let me tell you about Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs may be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse you need built, they can wire that. You expand your existing commercial building, they can wire that. You clean out a breaker, a whole electrical panel, upgrading old lighting in your home or office, or just need a receptacle in your home, they can wire that. Give them a call today or at the number on your screen at 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. Make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And just a fantastic group, Louisiana owned and operated right here in Baton Rouge. And just a fantastic locally owned company that you want to do business with. And they're huge LSU fans. And we're happy to have them with us here at TigerBait. And
Dyke family has great reputation in this town, and as you alluded to, they love LSU. Give them an opportunity, folks.
Got a brand new attitude, like bing bang boom on a pink balloon, like I just do what I want to do, like ooh, brand new.
there you go, Genesis of Lafayette. One of my buddies is now in the market for a GV70. In fact, I'm going to let him test drive the Mrs. Vehicle tomorrow afternoon, and he's already touched base with Blake over Genesis of Lafayette, and I bet you they end up sealing the deal. There's a reason why Genesis of Lafayette is now, 2 or 3 years in a row, sold more Genesis vehicles than any of the Genesis dealers in Louisiana. They don't haggle. They don't play around. If there's a particular color you want, they're going to go all the way to Maine if they have to get it for you. And it will be worth your while. I don't care where you're at in the state of Louisiana to deal with Genesis of Lafayette. Give them a call at 877-856-2961 and let them know TigerBait sent you in.
Hey, I always add that very, very safe car. Tiger Woods owes his life to the folks over at Genesis. And once again, big-time promoters with golf and sports. And as you alluded to, Blake makes it worth that while to go see him in Lafayette.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Nicholas Walker, Jack Pineburn looks and talks the part. Seems like a cross between Whit Weeks and Brian Bosworth. Yeah, you just don't want him to be Thomas Dunson.
Well, I will say this.
I don't think that's happening.
Look, he made a little sense at first, but then he threw in Thomas Dunson. And, of course, people were saying about Bosworth.
No, I threw that in. He did.
Oh, okay.
I was being a smart ass.
Okay. You were being. Look, Jack Pyburn is going to be a fan favorite. I'm calling it right now. I think this is what you need. LSU's been soft. LSU's been finesse. LSU got to line up in year 4 and kick somebody's butt at the line of scrimmage and play the way the LSU Tiger football defense did.
I think they've got it now.
And if Blake Baker and that group can't fire you up and Jack Pyburn can't fire you up, then you're going to be drinking a bunch this football season. Tired of seeing.
Boy, Daniel Dickinson's kind of that guy for baseball.
Yeah.
I'm watching him in the interview. Go check that out on TigerBait after the show. That went live. I uploaded that. That's why we were running a little late. That was the last thing I had to get done before we went live. And he's a great kid. He was a really good interview. But he says if he is half as good as he sounds from his interview, LSU has something special. Yeah. A lot of people enjoyed that Jack Pyburn interview yesterday.
And that's the question I'm going to ask BK on Saturday, Mike. You're bringing in all these different players. You've got 13 early enrollees. The freshman DJ Pickett, by the way, is the real deal. He is a legitimate 5-star. But you got all these transfers coming in. They have got to get in that locker room and gel. They've got to bond. They've got to believe each other. You're in the trenches. I mean, this is like the most important season for all of them. And, yes, the talk is easy to be impressed with. I'm buying Jack Pyburn and the rest of these defensive guys. I think you're going to see an appreciably more physical defense, and I think they're going to get after people. Everybody knows I believe in Gata, and I think they're going to Gata a bunch this year. And you know what that means, folks.
Dr. Butler says the Tigers are like cardiac kids. They seem to do what it takes to win. Todd Davis says LSU baseball must limit walks. They can crush you. And Dr. Butler says to Todd Davis, when is the last time you've seen a Tiger baseball team this talented? And Carl the Cat Dunn says, nice job on the practice reports and camp videos. Thank you, Carl the Cat. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of great feedback on all that. Appreciate that.
Did you see this? Carl the Cat, they bring referees out to go through the rules and all that. And Carl is a high school referee and does a good job. I think he's 22. Eddie Fuller's still number 1. But Carl the Cat slipped in the other day. And lo and behold, don't you know he's got Coca-Cola sponsoring his refereeing gear, the white and black stuff. And look, they asked about why you bring referees. You got to make sure, just like that clapping, all those little screwy rules. This is when you get through.
I'm just now realizing that the Coke bottle glasses reference. When was the last time you had one of them little? I know. What's the place on Jefferson that's BRQ?
Yeah,
BRQ gives you those old style Coke bottles. But I bet you most millennials and Gen Z don't know what Coke bottle glasses means.
Well, anyway, we like to have fun with Carl the Cat, and we actually had him because you hooked us up. He gave us a call on the radio show. So, Carl, the good Lord has blessed you with your life, and anybody that'll get on a bus and go all the way to Omaha, that goes to show you the length of his loyalty to LSU baseball and LSU athletics.
Yeah, Reed Wilson says Jelani Watkins should be mentioned on the list. He's faster than anybody on the team. He is.
I haven't seen Jelani Watkins out there. I think he's still running track.
Yeah.
And speaking of speed and burners, man, I don't know if you saw this, but you got Aaron Anderson who returned a touchdown for a kickoff for a touchdown. You got Xavier Thomas who did one. Barry and Brown is the flavor of the month. He did interview and meet with the media. 5 touchdowns to the house on kickoff. I was watching 0 and 1 with most of the punt returners. I think LSU is going to be better in return game, but they have more speed. Nick Anderson's also a big-time receiver that came in from the portal. He's been banged a little bit, but, man, there's going to be more vertical throws, and Nuss loves that. Last year when he got hurt, they didn't have a vertical threat. You're going to see LSU be able to throw deep a lot more. And, oh, by the way, Chris Hilton still looking pretty darn good at this point.
Randall Albrecht says, would y'all take any other coach in the country right now over Jay Johnson? I would not.
Absolutely not.
The more I cover him and go to his press conferences, and he just impresses me more and more. I know people like to joke and say, man, he says every player on his team's the best in the country, the best that. I like that. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't get after coaches because they throw them under the bus or if they pump them up too much. But I like it when he says Monster Malam is the best shortstop in the country and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think at this time we want to all make sure that everybody knows the loss of Miss Sandy Bertman and her burial today. And Jay was very emotional after the game the other night because Miss Sandy had just passed, and that was a rough night for him. But he said that's been one of the
I could feel him kind of being dour when he stepped to the podium.
But
today.
that's one of the perks to still be able to chew the fat and talk with Skip Bertman. But if you didn't know about Sandy Bertman, probably the most impressive obit I've ever read. Google Sandy Bertman obit, and I promise you'll get chills. This woman was unbelievable. And what do they say? Behind every great man is even a better woman.
Absolutely.
And so, Miss Sandy, may you rest in peace. But you have been a special, special lady, and the whole baseball
always
nation.
Smiling.
And
always
LSU
smiling.
Still mourns.
I think she enjoyed being a coach's wife. Always happy. And
may you rest in peace, Miss Bertman.
Yes, indeed. Andy Whitaker, FizzBuzz. Speaking of punters, I talked to Zach Von Rosenberg today. He's a good guy. I'm buying some material from him for my new house. Yeah, I like Zach. We've had him on. It's been a while. I know Preston usually will do stuff with him, but we need to do some more. He's got really good insights, and he's pretty candid. He doesn't hold back. Jerry Munch, I love y'all's show. The best ever. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Holden Lee, we all know this edge group will be great, but I'm honestly looking forward for this cornerback room. Looks very promising. Yeah, I mean, that's another one. We see him in drills, and we know that they've got some talent there, but have we I don't know that we've seen a deal where you're like, oh wow, look at that. You know,
we are starting to see more 7-on-7 and 11-on-11, and right now there are 4 corners.
But it's not like you're like, oh man, do you see the way he handled Chris Hilton? Or we haven't had any of those moments yet.
Well, Mansour Delane is the senior from Virginia Tech.
But it's not like it's not happening when we're not it's probably some of that stuff's happening when we're not there.
Well, look, John and I and you talked about it the other day. Mansour Delane is a guy that can play all over. He's very well versed, can play nickel, can play on the outside. Jakeem Jackson coming over from Florida. I like his size. DJ Pickett, they list him at 190. He's 6'4". You know, Mike and a lot of the other media guys say, oh, I don't believe him. You know, Mike, if you took him to Vegas and said, what does Harlan Berry weigh? And there was a window that said 175, 185. You probably picked 175, right?
No, I'd split the difference. His dad says 184.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Pickett is 190. I don't know if he's 190, but he can play. And then don't forget about Ashton Stamps. And then how about the little guy from John Curtis, number 21, with an INT the other day? 158 pounds and after the INT. Everybody on the team was mobbing him. Aiden Anding is coming in. And look, I think they're going to be appreciably better at the cornerback spot. But it all works when you put more pressure, make the quarterback throw it before he wants to. That secondary gets appreciably better.
Burgess Williams, Clemson game will tell us what this team is going to be. Kelly is 0-3 in openers. Won't need 3 games to determine this. Brian Kelly is going for the gusto in 25. I mean, look, this is a broken record. We at this point, every year so far, we talk about how that opener is going to be everything, and it really is. You win that game, and it just sets the table. You're in really good shape. The schedule, of course, doesn't do any favors. It's a rotten home schedule. I think that last game in Norman's going to be tougher than people want to think.
Yeah, I agree with
that. You saw what Oklahoma did to Alabama at home. Yeah, they came over here and got routed, but they played different at home, and they're going to be better. Got to go to Alabama. I think LSU can win in Tuscaloosa. I think LSU is a better team.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to look like on August 30th. I do know this. They've got a senior quarterback, and Kate Culbert came back, and you're going to have to affect him. You're going to have to make him uncomfortable. You're going to have to knock him on his ass and talk smack. That's what Ivan was talking about. He says, we talk smack, but you got to back it up. And so early on, we will see if LSU's winning the line of scrimmage.
I mean, there's some scary stuff. It's like let's say you're going into Norman at 9-2. You
got to win the game. Got to win the game. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean,
10-2 is what you got to get to this year if you want to be in the playoffs.
I can see that scenario. You know, like to be 10-1 going into that one. Cole Adams, if Pyburn gets pass rush to an elite level, this defense will be deadly with him. Yeah, and that's the other part. Having the guys coming off the edge that are salty and can get it done is going to make your corners look even better.
You thought Savion Jones would have the year he had. Now, he petered out a little bit at the end of the year, but Savion Jones was a force the first 6 or 7 games. Braden Swinson, 8 sacks, led the team. Look, you're going to have a lot of guys putting pressure on the edge, but here's the bottom line. Can you stop the frickin' run right up the A-gap, and can you not give up the deep ball? Safety, I think, is still a work in progress. I think the corners are better, but you got to come up and support the run from the safeties. And the punting and the safety play last year, if that is similar, then you're going to have problems. Got to have better special teams in punting. Got to have better safety play. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Dr. Butler, Clemson will be a problem at Clemson. Tigers will have to play an almost perfect game. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. You could very well look at personnel and say LSU superior at more spots than in Clemson, but it's at their house and on their home field, and they're going to be highly motivated. We have yet to see LSU come out of the blocks where they don't look like they've had less time to prepare than the opposing team since BK's gotten here. I don't know what the reason for that is. They got to get it done.
Well, I will interject.
It's not going to be easy.
I will interject this about Clemson. Dabo has not taken a liking to the transfer portal. Now, LSU wanted a big defensive end from Purdue, Will Held, and Clemson played more money for him, and he ends up at Clemson. But he has not dabbled in the transfer portal like LSU has, and so that is going to be a tough game. I would love to see that game at night.
If that offensive line is clicking, if they can come together, and Nussmeier is on target, I could see it going the other way, where LSU could go out in a walk.
Well, look, all we tell you is that they are developing as a team.
Man, I'm talking like a homer now.
But no, Mike. After spring,
I think this team's that good.
But after spring ball, this is when you've got to bond, and this is when you got to do this. With you and John H., you got to lip, you got to run, you got to bond, you got to have the best summer you've ever had. And it gets back to this, not LSU leadership. Who is going to be there telling those guys, come on, we throw it. Come on, we're lifting. Come on, we're going up the levee. Come on, we're moving tires. They've got to put the work in. Instead of talking, you got to do the work. If they do that, got a great chance to open up the season with a W.
Yep. Burgess Williams says, not a perfect game. Stop the run and run the ball. Elvis Jovan with a super chat. Thank you. Say it with me, Mike. 11-1. There you go. Look, anything can happen. Look, they spent over $20 million on NIL for a reason. I think there's a lot of people in that building that absolutely think this team can win a national championship.
Save his comment, because I'm in a great mood tonight. If they go 11-1, if he's out of town, I'm shipping 10 pounds of man-to smoke sauce.
Stay healthy, and take care of business.
By the way, all this talk we have is contingent on one big thing. You know what that is, huh, Mike?
Yeah.
Nussmeier's got to stay healthy.
I think this team's got a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like this team could go 9-3 and it'd absolutely be BK's best team that he's had here. Overall, what Jaden Daniels was. I mean, man. Yeah, but Dabo did get transfers this offseason. Yes, he did.
Yeah, but he didn't get nearly as many as LSU got.
Bart Smokey, of course, Smokey Investment Team practice reports. You like those practice reports? This is the man right here to thank for bringing them to you and sponsoring us every spring and fall. And you need some investment advice, definitely reach out to the Smokey Investment Team. He says, no one will accuse of being a homer.
Well, Bart, love what you and your son do, but love a Green Day, man. Look, we watch it. My guy tells me don't watch it as much, but that's the great thing about when you have a volatility in the market. Bart's right there along with his son to answer the phone call and talk you off the ledge calm you down.
When you get to a certain age, it makes you nervous.
It's pretty damn important.
Because it's about time to cash out.
Yeah, well. Anyway, that's what Bart's here for.
Yep.
Integrity with a capital I.
Andy Whitaker, BK gave Gilbert some love in his presser the other day, and I winced. I really hope to have someone we can start over him. Dana Diaz, hey, Mike and Buddy, watch the show every weekend live in Florida. I think Jay Johnson is the best baseball coach, hands down, gets to know his players, knows the game better than anyone. Go Tigers. Thank you, Dana.
I'll tell you what, I don't know anybody who works as hard as Jay. I don't know anybody who works the portal as hard as Jay. And he's got all of the history behind him with LSU having 7. But how cool is that to have a chat with Skip Bertman?
Bree gave him a statistic today, and I can't remember what it was. You'll see it on the tape.
Koki gave him a stat?
No, Bree Andrews.
Oh, Bree, okay.
BRZ. And
like you, Bree.
Some about the number of wins, and it's a something record or something. He goes, oh, really? Thank you for telling me, because it's like there's not many opportunities to set records in LSU baseball, right?
I think Tiger Shark likes Bree's questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff Jones, Mike for saying we're going to be terrible next year to now saying we're blowing out Clemson. Yeah. Jeff, at the end of November, this team was absolutely, in my mind, going 7-5. And then what they've did in the portal, that was an incredible haul. It just absolutely what made it. It's like if you drew it up, if you wrote it line by line, what they had to have in the portal to even be respectable, and you basically had to have triples and home runs on every line, and that's what they did. That's what it is.
At the end of spring football, I'm going to bring.
But am I picking them to go 11-1 or 12-0? No, I'm not doing that. I'm probably going to hedge my bet and go 9-3.
I know you are. Look, I'll just say it would.
But it's not going to shock me.
I'll say it what BK said. We got a T-shirt for you. We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the Natty. I don't like them using the C word. I think you need to have the process and not worry about the outcome. Long season, a lot of luck. Got to keep us healthy. Got to keep the important parts of the team healthy. But I like the way these guys are on the same page. They do have more depth. They do have more physicality. But look, folks, it's a crapshoot to know what they're going to do.
I like the way it sets up if Nussmeier gets dinged up and misses a week or two.
Van Buren's has shown some promise.
You didn't have that last year. If he went down, it was the disaster scenario. There's just it. The only thing that's not likable is the schedule. All right, let's scroll up. Yeah, Andy Whitaker. Everybody, don't forget this sunshine pumping from Mike.
Well, the potential is there. And I think that everybody knows the first hurdle, Mike. It's been 5 years, consecutive years. You don't have to tell BK how important that first game is. Because as you and I have alluded to on this show many times, if you lose to Clemson, now you have zero era. You can only lose one more ball game the rest of the year.
I'll tell you what else I want. I want Chris Hilton to be 100% like he is now.
Thank you. But
that's
nobody knows that.
That's so important.
No doubt. But they do have more vertical threats now with Barry Brown and other guys that can fly. But you got to keep Nuss healthy and standing vertical. And I'm going to give you a shout out for Caden Durham. I'm predicting it again. If that young man stays healthy, he's got 1,000 yards plus rushing. He looks phenomenal right now. You don't realize how bulked up and stout that young man is on TV. Trust me, folks, he is cut and ready to have a big year.
All right, Dana Diaz with a super chat. Thank you, Mike and Buddy. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for that super chat. Todd Davis with a super chat. Mike and Buddy, please explain why Vegas says 8.5 LSU wins down from 9.5. I don't know why that. When did it drop? In the last week or two?
Well, look, those prop bets right now are crapshoots.
It might be because of where people were putting money.
Well, but look, if you ask Brian Kelly right now, okay, go through the line, the schedule, and he was off the record. I don't think he could come up with a record.
I tell you what I would do. If it's 8.5 right now, I'm taking the over. You place that bet.
What a transition coming this way, folks.
Yeah.
I'm all in with Mike Scarborough.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah. 9-3 to me is the floor, but I don't like to talk records right now because there's a long way to go.
He said it dropped 2 weeks ago.
But I think you got to wait until, this summer, if you're in Vegas and it's 8.5, put a 50 spot on it for me.
Travis Wilburn with a super chat. Thank you so much. The O-line, defensive tackle, and safeties have to be solid next year. 9-3 is our floor this year.
Agree with everything of those. O-line.
Yeah, I don't. 9-3. 9-3 is the floor. I mean, you would really have to have something catastrophic, I think, to go 8-4.
But what do you say? Give me the O-line.
The O-line, DT, and safeties have to be solid next year.
Okay, I agree with all that. Let's throw in special teams and punting. O-line, from what you've seen. Now, let's be honest, folks. Not to be critical, but they underperformed and were disappointing as the O-line as a group last year. Agreed?
Yeah.
Big question we're seeing right now.
Athletic guards that can pull and that's going to help the running game.
But big question you and I are seeing right now, along with everybody, is DJ Chester big enough to continue at center, or is Braylon Moore, who's a smaller guy, 6'2", 300, which is really kind of small right now in today's game, is he going to ascend to the starting spot? And then Josh Thompson, we don't know what he's going to do. I think we see him on Saturday. Is he going to play inside? Is he going to play outside? Weston Davis, I like what he's looked like. And everybody knows Tyree Adams is going to be tough to beat at left tackle. Is it going to be Mubinga And, you know, we got a couple of new guys coming in. Carius Kern, I think you share my optimism with him. You see that 57, and he's mean. He's nasty. Look, he played in a small school in Arkansas, and the competition is appreciably kicked up a notch. But from a physical standpoint, that's what I want to see. And people cringe when I say this, but I think BK wants that offensive line as they move forward to look like the big uglies at Notre Dame in his heyday. And you got to admit, those were some physical O-linemen.
Yep. I was joking with a super chat. If we go 9-3, I'll lead the pitchfork revolution. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you all for those super chats. I really appreciate y'all supporting us.
I get what you say.
Yep. Travis Wilborn has Braylon Moore is bigger than Charles Turner, right? He's solidified the offensive line.
Charles Turner was 6'4". Remember,
Braylon Moore is a little bit more on the squatty side.
Yeah, he's a little shorter center, but if you remember, that's
6'2.5".
That's a 6'2", 6'2.5", about 300 right now. Look, he made a great point. Remember, Charles is a guy that didn't get to 300 until his last year. So we'll wait to see. Well, we got to wait to see full contact and all of that. We really won't see much of that. But as a group, there is potential, and I'll tell you what I like. Brad Davis has now got Alex Atkins coming over here. That's the reason Solomon Thomas is at LSU. I like what Coach Atkins is doing. He's going to help in the run game. And folks, they're going to try to be nasty at the line of scrimmage. I like what Pyburn says. We're going to strike you. And that means, you know how many times you heard it. You don't know how you're going to react until you get punched in the mouth. And this year, I think when LSU gets punched in the mouth, I think they're going to go boom, boom, right back. Otherwise, I'm going to be physical with talking about the fact that LSU's finesse again in 4 years. Got to be physical at the line of scrimmage.
All right, here we go. Struby's. Got to get them in. Look, all our TigerBait live shows are probably brought to you by Struby's Seafood and Steaks. They're located at 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Again, locally owned and operated. The freshest ingredients, USDA prime black Angus steaks, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. And if you want something outside of red meat, they offer the dry-aged pork chop, black truffle lobster pasta, redfish, and a whole slew of seafood dishes. Great desserts made in-house. And book your reservation online tonight at strubys.com. Please make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And really one of the finer dining establishments in Baton Rouge. If you're looking for a fantastic steak, you see that cowboy ribeye and those potatoes on the screen. That was my dish. And we're absolutely going to do our TigerBait little cocktail hour that we wanted to do last August, and it got away from us. We're going to absolutely make sure we do that this August. A little meet and greet, 6 o'clock type of thing. We make sure we'll do that this August.
Dr. Daniels will show up with Snake?
Maybe.
Hey, by the way, we've been over there 3 or 4 times. I've got the bad knees. I want to make sure I can park in the front. The young lady that answers the phone, they're going to make it simple for you. They're going to tell you if you got to wait. They're going to tell you if you got a reservation. They're going to tell you where to park. Give them an opportunity. You will be back over and over again. Promise you.
Man, this time of year, it's beautiful downtown.
Oh, love it.
And easy to park. Don't be deterred by it. And it's a beautiful restaurant, great food. And it really is a hidden gem. Make sure you get down there and check out Struby's.
Hey, am I getting foggy, or am I feeling a little more optimism from you tonight?
No, I think everybody in the chat's freaking out.
Oh.
All right, let's see. By the way, inside LSU women's basketball, Emily and I are doing that tomorrow night at 7:30. And me and Kendall Rogers are going to do our segment. That'll be uploaded mid-afternoon. And Kendall will be in Austin. So we got a lot coming your way on TigerBait tomorrow.
And did you really, I heard this rumor was, but did you really send Kendall Rogers a crying towel? He is a big A&M fan.
How far did A&M drop? Are they in the top 25 anymore?
They were 19 or 20, but they have fallen off the wagon. And so Kendall.
Well, that's look.
And look, let's be honest.
Aggies are always nobody is national championship caliber more in the offseason than Aggies in any sport.
I still think it's 1939.
Just ask them; they'll tell you.
1939, the last time they won a championship in a major sport. But all kidding aside, Kendall does a great job, and he, along with everybody else, look, quit worrying about the polls. Tennessee's playing better than LSU right now. Tennessee's coming to the box into April, and so we'll see. But man, Mike, I went through the top 10 the other day. 7 of the top 10 SEC. We're talking Texas, we're talking Oklahoma, we're talking Georgia, we're talking Arkansas, we're talking Florida, we're talking LSU, Tennessee. Once again, be cognizant of the depth of this league, and they're going to beat each other up now. So hang in there. You're going to lose some games, but I like Jay and I like this club.
Dr. Butler says it's amazing how Vegas gets it so right so many times. It's true. Data can really talk, he adds.
Well, I agree with that on a game by game basis, but I think everybody's just throwing stuff against the wall. How the hell you know if LSU is going to have 8.5 or 9.5?
Well, Todd says all the major services have LSU at 8.5. I say absolutely take the over.
Yeah, right now I definitely. But you know, we've seen it go crazy before.
All right, let me scroll up here. I saw one I needed to get to. Where's it at? It was from Dr. Butler. There it is. If Kim Mulkey can take a crowd from 100 to a packed house in 1 year, we can win an opener. Go Kim and BK. Yeah. I really hope LSU, and we're assuming it'll be Florida State on Monday. I really hope they give LSU a better start time Monday for that one.
You said 5 o'clock. I'm going with 6:30 or 7.
I'm making up a time that they would.
By the way, Florida State's got a very, very good score. I think she scores 24 a game, and they've got a big. And so, but how will Florida look coming off a 10-day stretch? And Anissa, everybody that seems to be good. PMAC is going to be rocking. And if you are a little old,
if y'all have not been, I'm telling you, even if you're not a big women's basketball fan, get it's different at tournament time. It really is a lot of fun. You need to go to the game.
Kim bought all the student tickets. You saw that, huh?
Yeah.
So going to be a great atmosphere. But if you can't stay up late, take an afternoon nap because you want to watch the game at 9:15. That's contingent upon Florida State and George Mason finishing in a normal time. So I think they'll take care of business against San Diego State. I do think it'll be a very competitive game against Florida State.
I love the collegiate host site thing. I was there in '86 for men when you had Purdue and then Memphis.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, that was something. That was back when in the NCAA tournament, you could host the first 2 rounds.
But they changed it after that.
Yeah.
And if you remember, LSU beat Dana Kirk in Memphis, and Dale Brown got the fish handshake from Dana Kirk, and they said after that, too much of a
Anthony Wilson picked the ball up off the floor.
Yeah.
And I got another story on that. A friend of mine from Franklin, Louisiana, that ball that Wilson shot got thrown up in the air and went into the crowd. And
he got it?
I know the guy that held on to that ball for like decades. And I don't know, maybe it was 10, 15 years ago, they gave it back.
Okay.
And they had a presentation. But that was the loudest the PMAC ever was.
Yeah.
And I was there. It was something else that game.
And of course, the reason, Mike, that the women,
I was sitting where the old student section used to be.
Yeah, but the reason the women have to have games on their sites is that they just don't draw like the men. Although we know Coach Mulkey's going to have that place rocking, and of course, Mike's going to be working until about 1 o'clock in the morning.
This, once it goes to Spokane and Birmingham, that's baloney too. That they need to go back to having 4 regional sites.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, agree. There's a reason they're called No Clue at All, NCAA.
Yep.
Carolina, once again, with the easiest draw. Ridiculous what they do for Dawn Staley.
Todd Davis, 2019 LSU National Championship, have become very rich. Yeah, they have.
It's unbelievable.
Good for them, man.
Damian Lewis at guard. Cushenberry at center. Clyde Edwards-Helaire now playing with the Saints. Justin, Jamar, Burrow, all those guys. Big, big money.
Patrick
and that's
Queen.
why I said What's that?
Patrick Queen.
Yeah, Patrick Queen, all those guys. Caleb on Chason just signed a new deal. It's unbelievable if you total it up. That's why I'm telling Tristan Keys, look at the film, go into Tiger Stadium. You could be the next Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. And oh, by the way, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. had unbelievable rookie years last year. It truly is NFL LSU, especially with the wide receivers. Tristan Keys, you don't have a lot to think about. Do you want to get paid now or do you want to get paid later? That's the question that you have to surmise. And you think you remember what Jamar Chase recruiting was like? You remember?
Mm-hmm.
So he's committed.
It was basically like, don't push too hard because he'll go the other way.
Well, but
he had to bide your time with him.
He had a family guy over in Florida. Then he was going to commit on the NFL Network to what? Texas Tech? Is that where it was? And remember, it got delayed. And then, of course, he was committed to Kansas, and Les wanted him as a DB. And the rest is history. So I guarantee you, Jamar Chase and his daddy are mighty darn happy it worked out that way.
Oh, man, I was in such a great mood, and you had to say that name.
Who?
Les.
Well, he did. He wanted Dak Prescott to be a tight end. And he wanted, but he did win a natty. And guess what? That's one more than BK's got right now.
All right, Alumni Hall, everybody, get over there. Best place to get all your LSU gear. Beautiful store in Perkins Row. They've got everything you're looking for. Nike Gear Champion, Johnny O, On Reserve, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, and much more. They've got all the youth baseball jerseys. The youth baseball jerseys are flying off the racks. Every kid in town wants an LSU baseball jersey. Get them one. They've got them in all the colors over at Alumni Hall. And they've got all the greatest golf shirts and the highest quality stuff that you want. And, of course, you get free shipping on all orders over $99. And they got the mix and match 2 for $38 champion branded T-shirts. You can mix and match them. They always run that 2 for $38 T-shirt deal. They've got tables and tables of great T-shirt designs. And I'm going to tell you how to save money. Use the code TigerBait, all one word, TigerBait, in store or online, and you're going to get 10% off. That code has been out there forever. If you shop at Alumni Hall once a week, TigerBait, every time you go to the register, you're going to get 10% off. You can't beat it. So that's our partnership with Alumni Hall. And they're real big in the NIL space. They give back, and that's why you want to do business with them. And what's even better is if you buy something from them, they're shipping it from the Baton Rouge location. It's not coming from a hub site. And so if you're in Alexandria or Houston or Lake Charles and you can't get to Baton Rouge, but you want some new LSU stuff, it's going to get to you pretty quick because it's shipping from Baton Rouge. So there you go. And Capital City Grill, your best lunch spot, best brunch spot, and 100 Lafayette Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Wide variety of sandwiches, burgers, seafood pasta, steaks, everything priced at $30 or below. And again, we always talk about going there for the Sunday morning brunch during football season, but you need to hit their brunch on baseball Sundays as well. Best carrot cake in Baton Rouge. Go look at their menu on capitalcitygrill.net. And as always, y'all, please do me a favor. Let our sponsors know you heard about them on TigerBait, and do that at Capital City Grill as well.
No doubt about it. Great bar, great outdoor seating, and once again, very consistent.
Great food. Love the club sandwich. Great lunch spot. Yeah, Bart Smokey. Les did not think Cody Ford could play starting offensive guard at the Bengals.
Well, look, we don't want to beat up Les. I just wanted to tell the story about Jamar Chase. That was pretty crazy. And early on, he was committed to Kansas.
I feel about Les like a lot of people feel about Curly Holman. I don't know why that is. Robert Brantley, not to mention his access to practice is a small fraction of the extra time spent on all involved coaches, players. Talking about okay. All right, I'm not sure what that's all about, but we're all good. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Look, I'm here because of Man Defined Me. See, they are my official NIL sponsor, and I'll give you some tidbits if you don't know. We've got a very busy Saturday. And look, grill up that sausage, boudin, whatever you want. Going to be a weekend. We're going out to football practice, 10 o'clock. We'll get an opportunity to have questions with BK about 11:45. We'll do our practice report about 12:15, and then it is chock-a-block. 5 o'clock, LSU softball. Then you get into, I'm sorry, that's Friday. They play at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Then you have LSU baseball at Texas at 6 o'clock, gymnastics in Birmingham, Oklahoma 1, LSU 2, Florida 3, and Missouri 4. They will be in the nighttime session. And then, of course, Mike's favorite time of the weekend, 9:15. So, look, if you're an LSU fan, it is a great weekend. And how cool is this? Gymnastics at 2, softball at 3 and 4, LSU baseball at 2. And, of course, as we know, LSU women 3 seed nationally. So good time to be a Tiger fan. And just always remember when you go to bed, thank the good Lord that you're not a Texas A&M fan. Can you imagine what this show would be like if it had been 1939s, since we talked about a Bible championship?
I don't know, they do shows every day over there.
Well, yeah, because negativity and bitching solicits more calls.
No, it's more pumping. It's sunshine pumping.
Okay.
Todd Davis with a super chat. Just a note, I never bet. Vegas has been thriving for years, but 8-5 seems low. Not giving any viewers any advice. I don't wait. I'm not a gambler either, but
yeah, I don't either. But 8-5 sounds
but
low.
If you said, okay, you got to go blow a crisp $100 bill, I'm definitely taking the over.
Okay. When you and the wife go to Vegas to get married, put a C note on me.
We almost did that. For real. We're going to do Elvis and everything.
Okay.
But then I was like, if we go get married in Vegas, and then I got to work the whole next day, what kind of trip is that?
No, I don't think you need to miss
Yeah.
work with the honeymoon.
Yeah. All right, everybody. If y'all enjoyed the show, please hit that like button. And thank you all for the super chats. Thanks for tuning in. Jay Johnson and players went up right before we went live. So that's on our channel. Check that out. And go over to TigerBait. We got a lot of recruiting updates on the site this week, and I got more coming. Go subscribe. We'd like to have you be a part of our TigerBait website. Only $1, and I think you'll enjoy it. We sent out a huge newsletter yesterday. That's a free newsletter. All you have to do is register for that. And so go to TigerBait.com. Look around. Give us a shot for your premium business. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll be back. First of all, we're going to have a lot of stuff on Friday as well. The whole NCAA women's tournament deal. I'm going to be at the PMAC all day on Friday, so I'm going to be bringing y'all a ton of interviews and all that stuff. And then Saturday, like Buddy said, is going to be chock-a-block full of LSU sports, and we'll be loading the channel up there as well. So
playing games today and yesterday. March Madness starts tomorrow. Everybody is picking the chalk. Unprecedented. 2 SEC teams, number 1 seed. 2 SEC teams, number 2. Good luck in your brackets, and don't be tearing them up by Saturday, but enjoy this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Basketball people love this stretch. And as always, we do appreciate each and every one of you.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all.
See you next week.